CBS News Bay Area Afternoon Edition with Ann Makovic.
Thanks for joining us. This just in, teachers in Oakland told the school district they are going on strike this Thursday. The Oakland Education Association says the strike is in protest of what they call unfair labor practices. The union accuses the district of failing to provide financial information about recent budget cuts. The district told us it has responded to all but 2 of the union's 30 requests for budget-related information. This would be the 4th strike in 6 years for the district. They say that schools will be open on Thursday despite the strike. A potential teacher strike also looming in Fremont. In contract negotiations, the teachers union has said it agrees with some of the recommendations from a neutral fact-finding report, and the district says it is ready to settle based on those same recommendations. But according to the union, the 2 sides are still at odds over class sizes and compensation. Police shot and killed a man in South San Francisco after they say he fired a gun into his neighbor's home. It happened at the intersection of Arroyo and Cuesta Drives near Bury Park. Officers say the suspect started shooting at them when they got on scene. Veronica Macias reports from South San Francisco.
This morning here in South San Francisco, neighbors are coming together saying this kind of thing just doesn't happen here. They're saddened to know that a 60-year-old neighbor was shot and killed in this police shooting, and it's unfortunate that guns came into play here on Arroyo Drive. The shooting happening on this side of the street where police right now are carrying out their investigation. Investigators piecing together exactly what happened. They were called here yesterday close to 6 p.m. when there was a disturbance between neighbors, according to others on this street, some sort of argument between 2 men over tree trimming and things quickly escalating. They say when police arrived, the suspect fired at them.
My understanding is they had a dispute over a tree that was hanging. This is how foolish this kind of thing is when the outcome's like this, but a dispute over a tree that one of them cut back. Which is his right, my understanding. And then somebody decided to settle it with a gun. So, and I understand he opened fire on the house.
Police here at the scene confirming that a neighbor was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, however, not confirming how this all started.
Police say that suspect was armed with a shotgun and a handgun. No officers were hurt. Today, the head of U.S. Homeland Security set to make an appearance at a conference happening at San Francisco's Moscone Center. Kristi Noem is going to discuss her vision for America's cyber defense, which she says will make the nation more secure for future generations. The RSA conference runs through Thursday at Moscone. Security experts there talking about the latest technology and evolving threats. President Trump celebrating his first 100 days in office. He's also facing legal action from several states, California, along with 21 others, now suing the Trump administration for DOJ's dismantling of the national volunteer organization AmeriCorps. More than $400 million in grants were canceled nationwide. They support volunteer efforts at more than 1,000 locations in California alone. Attorney General Rob Bonta said the Trump administration is breaking the law by cutting a program funded by Congress.
By abruptly canceling critical grants and gutting AmeriCorps' workforce, Trump and Elon are effectively shuttering the National Volunteer Agency. He's a president that is violating the law blatantly, brazenly, consistently, and frequently. And each and every time he does so, we will meet him in court to stop him.
Another lawsuit has been filed against DOJ and the Trump administration, accusing them of illegally reorganizing the federal government. That one filed by Santa Clara County and San Francisco, seeking to stop an executive order laying off federal workers without congressional approval. San Francisco City Attorney David Chu argues that Trump is overstepping his authority.
Our federal government has been decimated and thrown into complete disarray. These dramatic and illegal changes have made it extremely difficult for local communities and local governments to effectively deliver our programs and services.
Meanwhile, President Trump is highlighting his economic accomplishments. He's headed to Michigan, the home of the American auto manufacturing, for a rally with supporters. Natalie Brand has details from the White House.
President Trump closed his campaign in battleground Michigan and returns tonight to mark 100 days.
After building the greatest economy in the world in his first term as president, President Trump is in the process of doing that all over again.
The trip to the key automotive hub comes as the administration could be easing tariffs on the auto industry. CBS News has learned the president will sign an executive order today easing the 25% tariff for steel and aluminum for automakers, while the separate tariff on imported cars is expected to remain in place.
The goal here is to bring back the high-quality industrial jobs to the U.S.
The latest CBS News poll shows President Trump's approval of handling the economy has declined in recent weeks, and more than 60% of those surveyed believe he's too focused on tariffs, not enough on lowering prices.
We're the largest producer of truck frame assembly lines in North America.
Joe Perkins, whose company provides technology systems for the automotive industry, says he's hopeful for clarity.
How long can I maintain current cost structure? That is something that keeps me up all night, and literally something that I have to think about every single day.
Tariff negotiations are underway with dozens of U.S. trading partners, but Canada's new prime minister issued this warning.
Our old relationship with the United States, a relationship based on steadily increasing integration, is over.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says progress has been made in talks with a number of Asian trading partners.
Canada's new prime minister says he's going to sit down with President Trump soon to discuss the relationship between the two neighbors. Tomorrow, President Trump hosting a Bay Area CEO along with other business titans at the White House. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, along with corporate leaders at Eli Lilly and SoftBank Group, are going to gather to showcase the administration's work to attract investments in the U.S. and to encourage further commitments from other major companies. Taking a check on Wall Street right now. Live look at the big board right now. The Dow is up more than 300 points. Still ahead here at noon and streaming on CBS News Bay Area, an evacuation effort like no other in a time of war. We are catching up with the Bay Area couple that took part in the effort to get orphans out of Vietnam and their daughter, who was part of that journey. And here's a live look outside before we head to break. We will be right back with your first alert forecast after this. "50 years ago this week, the bloody and brutal Vietnam War came to an end, finally. That prompted an extraordinary effort to evacuate Vietnamese children from the region, many of them winding up here in the Bay Area. A daring mission was dubbed Operation Baby Lift.
Okay, Wayner, thank you very much. And let's check right back in with Andy Park and Lynn Joyner at the Oakland International Airport as they continue to bring those 57 children off of that plane. As you can see, they're coming on down. And Andy, if you can hear me, you're back on live television again.
50 years ago, an historic event unfolded late at night, live on Channel 5.
I am right at the foot of the stairway now, and you can probably see that little one who just came down. The people going up, again, are the blanket brigade. They're taking up blankets, they wrap a child in it, and bring them down.
On board this World Airways plane, dozens of young children airlifted out of Vietnam. Among them, a baby girl promised to Ralph and Marilyn Norberg.
She looks like a healthy, normal child.
The Norbergs 50 years ago and the Norbergs today.
It was just such a defining moment in our lives because we'd wanted to have children and we're having a hard time. And when she came, it was just such a gift.
It's really amazing to meet our first child and get to know her.
From the airport, the children were loaded up on a bus and driven to San Francisco. The vast majority were processed here at the Presidio Army Base in this building known as Harmon Hall. The Presidio switchboard was swamped with compassionate calls.
Calls offering everything from clothes and blankets from Arkansas to people from Alaska and Brooklyn who want to adopt children.
But it was quite a mob scene because we had press everywhere.
When the Norbergs first met Wendy,
she was actually very, very easygoing.
She was adorable. She still is.
Wendy Norberg 50 years ago.
Happy birthday, dear Wendy. Happy.
And Wendy Norberg today, celebrating her 51st birthday.
I view myself definitely as being American.
Wendy went back to Vietnam 10 years ago and saw her orphanage, but says the Bay Area is home. As for Operation Baby Lift, she doesn't dwell on it.
I don't really feel like I'm part of it. I just every 10 years get reminded.
We're just so proud of her, and excuse me, it's been such a time. She's such a wonderful family member.
Wendy is an accomplished photographer. Most recently, she's captured images of Bay Area activism, people striving to change the world.
I'm not necessarily picking a side. I'm documenting a moment in history.
Around us are just a swarm of volunteers, doctors, nurses.
Wendy's historic journey was captured by Channel 5. Now, 50 years later, she's on the other side of the lens. All right, back to our first alert weather now, taking a live look outside toward Marin County. Let's check back in with meteorologist Jessica Birch.
Well, it's a warm day for us today at our inland spots. We're topping off in the 80s and upper 70s all throughout the East Bay from Antioch over into Livermore. We hold on tight to mid 70s today up into wine country from Petaluma all the way up into Santa Rosa. And the moment you pass the Golden Gate Bridge into San Francisco, well, that's where we see a return to the 60s. San Francisco, Half Moon Bay and Pacifica all topping off in the 60s today. You continue to track south along 101 from Redwood City into the Santa Clara Valley. Well, that's where we see a return to the 80s in areas like Los Gatos with upper 70s into San Jose. It's going to be a very mild day for us today. And tomorrow we get a repeat of very similar temperatures too. Now the winds kick up as we head into the afternoon hours today. Just around dinner time hours tonight, within the next 5 hours or so, we're going to see up to around 25 mile per hour wind gust in San Francisco, Bodega Bay, and about a 20 mile per hour wind gust all the way into the Santa Clara Valley. Similar trend off into Solano County too. Now it's a partly cloudy day for us today. Tomorrow with those warm temperatures, we're going to see a lot more sunshine in the forecast. And that's kind of just a back and forth trend for us this week. It's not until Friday, heading into our Saturday forecast, where we get a quick splash of showers right around the corner as we head into this weekend with some cooler weather to accompany that too. Let's head over to the next 7 days real fast and start off in the Bay. I'll show you where those showers are going to lead up to, and then luckily as we head into Sunday it quickly vanishes just with cloudy skies, and then we have a warm up into next week too. But notice how it's kind of like a roller coaster. We dip down into the low 60s just to warm up into the upper 60s heading into this weekend's forecast and into early next week. Now you're going to notice those temperatures even more noticeable and more drastic as we head into our inland spots. Now we're talking about 80s today and tomorrow, back into the 60s heading into Saturday with those showers. We'll warm back up into the 70s as we head into next week. Back to you.
Still ahead, it was a life-changing event for one Hollywood actor and Bay Area native. Jeremy Renner talks about his recovery from a snowcat accident that almost killed him and about his new memoir. Two-time Oscar nominee and Modesto native Jeremy Renner now sharing new details about the devastating accident that nearly cost him his life. It was New Year's Day, 2023. The mayor of Kingstown star was run over by a 7-ton snowcat he was operating at his home outside Reno. He broke more than 38 bones. Paramedics did not think he was going to make it. The 54-year-old discussed his survival and recovery on CBS Mornings, a journey he writes about in his new memoir, My Next Breath.
It was a private incident that happened in my driveway. Why does anybody care about it? But the act of writing it is really what I want people to kind of take away from it. But getting out of your own way is quite important to really to achieve and get anything you want in your life. And that's the lesson I had to learn, to get out of my own way and share the story, because I knew it was valuable, and it was silly of me not to share it.
Oh, wow, what a recovery. The book, My Next Breath by Jeremy Rener, is on sale now. That is it for the afternoon edition this Tuesday. But remember, we are streaming all day on CBS News Bay Area. Just go to the CBS News app, check live, and then Bay Area. Meantime, have a great afternoon. I'll be right back here at 5 o'clock.